Hey folks, Taco here. I apologize, my video cut off short again yesterday, so I am finishing up the video today. I did mean to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you for watching. A couple of you did wish me a Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas, and uh, I'm sure there's people out there that don't celebrate Christmas. I hope that your Tuesday was good. I hope that your Wednesday is good. For those of you who are already on Thursday, I hope your Thursday is good as well. I believe that Thursday is the first day of Hanukkah, but I can't remember. I know Hanukkah is occurring on Thursday, so all the winter solstice holidays throughout all the cultures, I hope you're all having a great time. And of course, I'll update you folks on my schefflera here. So I did have I'll zoom in as well. I did have a branch right here. It had a little dead bit on the end, so I trimmed that off. But I think you can tell that my soil level is low. This is after watering in heavily. And I got some roots that are starting to stick up. I put this rock in here to prop it up into the upright position I'd like. This isn't to be a root over rock, but until these roots thicken up, I think I need that extra support there. And now I've just got to fill in, because I do want to get closer to the lip on this pot. I don't think that the tree is going to suffer from the lower soil level, but I did want more soil in here to better support its form, especially while it's growing. So I think that's a little bit better. It's not terribly stable in the pot. It's potted quite high and the soil is quite light. But I'm really not trying to work on Nabari per se, so much just getting better roots. I'm too early on in root development to want to expose too much. Some of these roots that I'm leaving as sort of aerial roots are fine, but I'm really not trying to change anything other than just the general development. So exposing anything, keeping it from thickening up, isn't really in my best interest. This out, just fill in there a little bit too. There we go. That gives me a little bit better support for the tree. I think it's pretty easy to see that this particular part here, the roots are very nice. Underneath the soil, they're quite nice as well. Over here, we'll see what happens. I might end up having to do some reduction there and even changing my plans altogether on this tree. But as it is now, I really like it. I can see myself removing this and this and this, using this as my tree in the future. That's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I can see that happening, partially because I have this nice leader here. I have a side branch, another side branch, and I can really train those branches the way that I'd like. I could, of course, plant this as a cutting. This has already got some roots on it, so I can plant that on its own. And this has its own root, so I can plant it on its own as well. So this one came just out of defoliation and pruning, minor pruning, regular defoliation. So I don't really need to do much else with it. I just wanted to show you folks what it looks like. And here is that once around I said I would do and did not. So lots of nice little compact growth starting at the defoliation. I do have some leaves that have already come in and kind of almost turned mature. Those are not new branches. They're just leaves that were either small when I cut it back and grew, or grew out of a branch I did not prune back. Not all these branches got pruned back so they would branch out. Some of them were left to grow so they would thicken up before they branch out like that. So I'll have a lot better options the next time I go to prune this tree. That is it. Of course, I have the rock in the back right now, but I'm quite fond of my front view here. It is developing, it's looking good. When this is thickened up a little bit more, I can cut it back, get some branches hopefully out, to this side, branch out in here, maybe some branches to the back too, because it is still kind of a wall, schefflera, almost raft style, rather than being a more symmetrical tree. So that's it with this one. I just wanted to finish it up. I apologize again for messing that up. It was not my intent to have that video cut short. Excuse me. And now I'm going to work on this one. Now I know this probably looks really, really exciting, and it's not. It is a, let's see if it is written on here. I can't remember what it is actually. But it's some bushy shrubs that I found. And I thought, you know what, these might be really good for bonsai. I've got bigger leaves here, but these are nice compact leaves. They might be related to the myrtle family. I'm just not sure. But it doesn't really have a whole lot going on in here. It's not growing out the bottom. So I'm not worried about root pruning, but I do want to see if it's one tree or two. It appears to be a double trunk. So right now, I'll do this. And you can see what I mean. It's really not clear whether or not this is a single trunk or a double trunk. I've got two trunks. I'm just not sure if they are, the real deal or just pretending to be so. So I'm going to grab my solo stake. This is when if I knew where I put my root rake, I would use that, but I'm just not sure where my root rake went. And I'm just going to do a little bit of exploring. See if I can figure out where my roots are and if this is a double trunk or a single trunk. I'd love for it to be a single tree, but it might not be. That would be a really cool double trunk. I'm thinking it's two separate, and the reason why is that this appears to be where the roots start here. So it's probably two trees. I'm going to do a little more exploring just to see what I got. And then maybe I'll prune this one up. Won't be doing any root pruning. Of course, I might prune this one up to see just how the form is. Yeah. This is you could see, sorry, nursery tree. Nothing too exciting as far as development already. It's just a fresh tree. Now, I'm not trying to go so far that I damage roots. I'm just trying to see what I got here. Somehow, since it's still been kind of mild this winter, I've not yet had my plants freeze, so this isn't frozen yet. It's a little hard here, but it's not quite frozen. It's just a little hard. So you can see as I'm brushing out, there's not a whole lot going on that's unexpected. A little bit of frozen in here, not bad. All right. Yeah, I think this one is a two-tree planting. Not by me, but by someone. Whoever planted this, I believe they planted two cuttings. So I will have to address that. Now, I really like the slope that I've got out of the trunk on this one, even with the strange root here on the back. But this trees are not bad. So let's do a little bit of pruning just to get some form established on this and start to make plans. I don't anticipate having to do any crazy cuts, so I'm just going to grab my little pair of pruners, but I'm in the process of cleaning and maintaining, so I might have to go back and get more. We'll just have to see. All right. Well, hopefully you all can see. Not very well. Let me scoot you around a little bit. Woo! Get you a little bit closer as an audience, and also for me, a little better visibility. It's not amazing, but you can see some. The tree comes up here and splits. So I've got a branch here, branches coming off the side. Got a little stuff in the middle here, which I'm going to address. So I wouldn't anticipate myself using this as a main trunk or a trunk at all. I'm going to take off this little bit here, try cleaning up this junction. I can see a little bit more of what's going on. I'm also going to let Nina in. Good girl. All right, she was outside. Don't want to leave her out too long, even though it's not super cold. I just want to keep her healthy too. All right. I'm going to branch here and branch here. I don't like this one. I'll leave the lower one in here just in case I end up needing it. I'm going to cut this dead branch above it. Now, in the case that I decide to pursue this as a single trunk, pursue this as a single trunk, I've got this branch here I can use as a side branch. Now this comes up and splits again up here, and both of them are okay continuations of the trunk. But I've got some back branches here I just don't need. I'll take these off. This is on the inside of a curve anyhow. And this one here, similarly. I've got this branch here. It might be a nice back branch. Quite low on the tree. So I'm going to take it out, clean up that junction. Again, I'm going to just try. Hi, Nina. I'm going to try to take some of these back branches off that other trunk here. Clean it up. Are you helping? You're very helpful. You are. I can see I've got another little. There we go. I think I got it. Not on that branch, but just kind of in the way. I did. All right. So now I've got one here, trying to plan for the future. I don't intend to make this a very wiggly tree, but I can also use this as a leader in the case that I go south, but doesn't go quite the way I want. I think the rest of this is kind of, it needs development before I can do much more. I can reduce, I reduced this just now from 3 down to these 2. I think it really needs to grow more before I can do much. A lot of these branches seem to only go one direction, which is quite annoying. But it has some good buds to it. So I'll leave that part. This other part of the tree here, although I doubt I'll use it, I will go ahead and take off this here. And this here doesn't look very healthy, so I'll take it off as well. This one right here doesn't look great, so it'll come off. And I'm getting a little more light and a little more air in here. It might end up that I use this as the leader in the future, just to get some really good tape for this little teeny tiny one. But that's kind of done it for that tree. Let's work on this second one here. So lots of low down branches, which I don't want. This is a type of tree I'd like to grow in that form. So I'll take these all out. And then I'm looking at a sort of junction of 3 here. I don't want a junction of 3. I do really like this got taper, no matter which one I go with. But looking at it, I think that this might make a good bottom branch. So I'm going to try to develop it that way. Take it off here. It's a lot of branch coming off. And that way, in the case I develop this branch, it's a little more compact there. So I have a portion coming forward, portion going back. That little branch here I don't want with this. And I've got buds on here. They can, of course, take off and grow. Now, it's not easy to see, but this comes up and goes this way. And this comes up and goes more upright. However, from the side, it's probably going to be, not the side in the future. This doesn't come up so straight, only this one's just a better branch. So I am going to take out this middle one. Just planning to make this tree into something else. Now I'm taking this one back harder, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's going to have any issues. So now I'll seal this up versus cleaning this up. It is quite a large wound right now. I'm also going to address things like little branches that are in the way. Now I don't want this one underneath here. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Take that one out. This one here is inside a curve. So I'll take that out. And then I've got what could be the new leader up here. Not sure if I'm too far up. And the rest of this tree kind of comes up the other way. So I think what I'll do is I'll go back hard on this, assuming I'm going to use this as the new leader. So this one I'm taking back much more hard. See, got my leader over here where my thumb is. It's high in the frame. And this is that first side branch. but I don't mind starting with a small form like this, and if it does continue to grow real nicely, I'll be in good shape. The other one here, I'm going to leave the rest of this foliage as sort of sacrifice and hope that this one here takes off in the middle. So if this ends up being my leader, I'll be in really good shape. I have a little wiggle here, but it's really going to give me a nice form. Right now, I believe that my whole mass up here will keep the tree alive. I'm going to count on that. If I lose this tree, then at least I got this one as a backup. And although they're both nice trees, they are kind of playing around. There's no real necessary cuts or form I'm going for. So that might give you a little better view. Sorry. This one right now, got this big part here is part of that. Part here is part of that. This is where I want my leader to grow from, so I'm giving it lots of light. This other tree here, I'm not sure what's going to be front or back. That might give you a little better view. This is my side branch, all this over here. This will be my new leader. And like I said, I don't want to do too much with this. So what I'll do is I'll put it right back in the same pot. Remember, I've disturbed none of the top of it. And I will fill in the top here with some of its own soil. Visionary's really going after it with bonsai soil because it is not yet that far in development right now. It will appreciate this finer soil that holds a little bit of moisture in it while it's still getting ready for the spring. If nothing else, I would probably put mulch on it. This is just as good. All right, so we're filled in real nice now. I don't have to put all of it back in, but just enough to keep it alive. So that's that. Again, I can't recall what it was. And sometimes it has these bigger leaves, but sometimes it's nice, tight, compact growth like this. So I'll just see how this goes. All right. Ooh, kind of a funny view, I'm sure. But that's all for this episode. Hope everyone had a very good Wednesday. It's Wednesday for me, Christmas for people who celebrate. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Winter Solstice. I'm not sure when all the holidays are, Ramadan. I hope they're all well enjoyed, whether they be cultural holidays or religious holidays, whether they be spiritual holidays or harvest holidays. I don't mind any of them. If at the very least you have a happy Wednesday or happy Thursday, whichever day you're on, I'll be glad. So everyone take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. Almost Happy New Year. Cheers.